Shabbat Shalom. It's been a treat to ease back into my time here at B'nai Jeshurun. I was away for the summer studying at Yeshivat Hadar, a couple blocks away, but it felt like a whole other world. So thank you all for your warm welcome back, and I'm excited to share a little bit of Torah this morning. In Parashat Shoftim, Moshe instructs the people of Israel on the laws and limitations of the justice systems they are to live under upon entering the land. It defines various positions of governmental leadership, namely judges and law enforcers, kings, priests, and prophets. It also gives some examples of necessary policies to maintain a moral society. In these instructions is where we are taught how to deal with vengeance seekers. Say that 3 times fast. Chapter 19 boasts a stark ruling regarding the Eid Zomem, the conspiring witness. Verses 16 through 19 of the chapter state, should a malicious witness rise up against a party and testify falsely, the 2 parties who hold the dispute should stand before the Lord, before the priests or the judges of their time, to be investigated by them. If the one who testified is found to be a false witness, having perpetuated falsehood against his fellow, you shall do to him as he plotted to do against his fellow, thereby rooting out evil from your midst. That is, if a witness is found to have provided a false testimony before a court with intent of harming the defendant, that witness is sentenced as if they themselves had committed the accused crime. Here, the Torah teaches that the punishment of the malicious witness must be commensurate with the harm they intended to do, even if their scheme was discovered and the defendant was never actually indicted. To drive the commandment home, the chapter ends with the imperative, lo tachos einecha, do not look on with compassion. Nefesh b'nefesh, ayin b'ayin, Shein b'shein, yad b'yad, regel b'ragel. A life for a life, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a hand for a hand, a foot for a foot. It's ruthless. The Torah promotes this punishment of lex talionis, or retributive justice, only in 2 other places, Exodus 21 and Leviticus 24. Each of the other cases are complex in their own right, and present a scenario in which someone permanently injures another and is thereby charged to endure commensurate damage. In the case presented in our Parsha, however, the intended harm is never actually enacted. The vengeance was conspired, but not carried out. Should the punishment towards that person really be as severe as when the damage is actually done? The tradition deals with the starkness of this ruling in a few different ways. The Gemara in Bava Kama softens the impact of these verses, teaching that in this case of a conspiring witness, we apply restitutive justice rather than retributive justice. It says, the school of Rabbi Chia taught that the verse states, yad b'yad, hand for a hand. And what is given from one hand to another? Payment. I love rabbinics. Elsewhere, voices like the Reggio contend that we are given this law about severe treatment of a conspiring witness to show the power and the prowess of the courts of our nation, as if to say, our judges are not to be messed with. Don't even try it. Rashi explains another widely held interpretation. He comments that this law comes to teach us about the b'di'evet case, or the after-the-fact case, that the Torah's specification of this punishment in a case where the schemes of the conspiring witness are discovered before harm has been done to the defendant actually teach us that if we discover the schemes after the harm has been done to the defendant, we are not to punish the witness at all. God, the ultimate judge, allowed for their testimony to be believed, and one does not question the divine judgment. It's a little complex, very interesting. I think, however, there's a simpler explanation for why the conspiring witness is treated as if they have caused actual harm. We think it's because they have caused actual harm. Perhaps not to the intended individual, but certainly to the community, to the social fabric of the society. The justice systems and policies passed down by Moshe Rabbeinu in Parashat Shoftim are set to protect us, to keep us in good standing with one another, and to ensure our ability to thrive and progress in fairness and in faith. Abuse of those systems, through improper use, jeopardizes the whole project, destabilizes our capacity for moral self-governance. The sages of our Gemara also recognize the conspiring witness as a threat to the larger community. Alongside the full retribution commanded by the Torah text, they impose strict social consequences for the conspiring witness. In a disagreement between Abaye and Rabbah, Abaye states that one who is found to be a conspiring witness should be stripped of all their legal force, even retroactively. His ruling implies that if the witness in question had previously signed a ketubah or confirmed a land purchase, those transactions, be they completely unrelated to the case in which the witness acted with malintent, would no longer be considered valid by the court system. Rava pushes back. Rava notes that it would be massively complicated to undo other people's legal proceedings retroactively. He's like, it would be chaos. It would be total chaos. And he suggests, rather, that the witnesses be legitimized from the point that the false testimony is discovered onward. It's a very reasonable counter. Yet, in the hundreds of disagreements between Abaye and Rava that we find in the Babylonian Talmud, this particular case is one of 6 in which we follow the ruling of Abaye. The conspiring witness is to be completely stripped of their legal force, even retroactively, even though it's complicated. The abuse of the legal system to exact one's own personal revenge is a big deal and warrants the complete severing of this person from that system and from their status as a legally forceful member of the community. The conspiring witness causes social harm, and so they bear a profound social consequence. We may no longer have Jewish courts with Torah scholars seated as judges or Davidic kings appointed by prophets of God. Still, the transgression of abuse of our legal system to exact personal revenge or personal gain is alive and well today, carried out by leaders and lay citizens alike. This is perhaps a debilitating symptom of American opportunism or a representation of the desperation many feel to stay afloat or ahead in our challenging world. I'm not sure. However, I do know that along with the consistent exploitation of our legal system from all strata of our society, we are seeing a historic level of distrust in our courts. A survey conducted by Equal Justice Works earlier this year reported that 79% of Americans perceive injustice in the current legal system. 61% of individuals report that they believe that their income impacts their ability to receive a fair trial. The impression many Americans have is that our courts are not functioning as vehicles for fairness and peace between citizens, but rather serve the individual interests of the privileged few, or those who know best how to exploit the system for personal gain. Torah tells us this is inoperable. The opening lines of this parsha profoundly call, Tzedek, tzedek, tirdof. Justice, justice, you shall pursue. The Midrash in Sifrei Devarim explains that the doubling of the word tzedek here teaches that justice can only be pursued through just means, with trusted actors. We cannot fulfill our aims of a just and a safe society when the legal systems themselves have been compromised by those who use them with intent to harm others or mete out personal revenge. Our sages teach that the imperative of this verse is to continue in pursuit, that while we may grow wary of the flaws in ourselves and in our systems of governing, we have to continue to seek out the most rightly guided treatment and to fight to ensure it's available to all. The pursuit is the mitzvah, the command, the antidote to the damage caused by malicious actors. It is a way to encourage us to continue to strive for what is right and what is fair, even when it feels so out of reach. Our tradition doesn't only offer wisdom for deterring and overcoming bad actors within our legal systems. It also gives us a tool for ensuring that we do not become them ourselves. In Elul, we do our best to repair the damage we have done and to accept others in their attempts to do the same. Cheshbon HaNefesh, spiritual accounting, is itself a form of resetting the scales, of seeking interpersonal justice. Yet it operates in a completely different mode, not through legal proceedings between accusers and defendants, but in relationships between friends, colleagues, siblings. Year after year, in the same breath that we read this parsha about justice and power, our tradition instructs us to turn towards one another, to make amends expansively and with intent. We do this so that the hurt and the anger we carry from one year does not accumulate and spill over into something vengeful and more widely destructive. These two modes of pursuing justice are inherently connected. Mending the interpersonal through teshuvah, through relationship, is a protective practice for our broader communal systems. It frees us, little by little, from the adversarial instinct, from the notion that when we feel hurt or believe we are owed something, we must put one another on trial. I truly believe that if we exercise this muscle of forgiveness and make the most of this season of reflection and repair, we will be more committed to using our broader social systems as they are intended, to protect one another, to advance our collective condition, to pursue justice for its own sake, not for vengeance or personal gain or self-satisfaction. This Elul, may we engage in a teshuvah so complete and so compelling that it transforms not only who we are to one another, but the systems we rely upon to treat one another fairly. May it be just one tiny step to move us and our world ever more towards justice. Shabbat Shalom.